So something is about to happen to RVing here in America, and I don't really know if any of us are ready for this, but if you're an RVer or dreaming of hitting the open road, something is definitely brewing that could change the landscape of RVing in America as we know it. Now, the RV industry has been on a roller coaster over the last few years with surges in RV sales, skyrocketing demand for motorhomes, and now looming restrictions in over 11 states.
California's most recent emission regulation includes strict rules on motorhome sales.
Diesel motorhome sales are abruptly ending.
So what the heck is going on? And more importantly, how is this going to affect those of us that are RVers nationwide? Now, if you're a current or even aspiring RVer, there are some trends, policies, and potential impacts that you definitely need to know about, and we're going to talk about those in this video. But first, let's try to understand how we even got here in the first place. So let's back up a few years to 2020 and the pandemic. Now, the COVID pandemic brought unprecedented changes to how people travel. With international borders closed and traditional vacations disrupted, Americans turned to RVs as a way to safely explore the country. RV sales skyrocketed with a record 600,000 units shipped in 2021 alone, which was a 19% increase from the previous year. Families, couples, retirees, all embrace the RV lifestyle, cherishing the freedom to travel while maintaining their own space. In fact, we personally found that 2020 and 2021 were some of the best years of traveling we've ever experienced. And we're not alone, evidenced by the fact that RV dealerships struggled to keep up with demand and manufacturers ramped up production. It seemed like the golden age for RVing, and we still look back on those years as some of the best years that we've had of RV life. However, with every boom comes the challenges. So what's the downside to this rapid growth? The surge in RV ownership ended up highlighting some critical issues. Now, one was infrastructure overload. Many campgrounds and RV parks are still overwhelmed, especially in popular destinations. And it is not uncommon to have to book months in advance only to find limited amenities and crowded spaces. And then you have the environmental concerns. So the growing number of motorhomes and travel trailers put increased pressure on natural resources, leading to concerns about pollution, waste management, and overcrowding in sometimes fragile ecosystems. In many cases, there's been some very bad actors, if you will, who have dumped trash and disposed of waste improperly in public lands, causing even more restrictions and regulations. So it's not really surprising when you think about it that in response to these issues, several states have begun introducing new restrictions on RV use and motorhome sales, and this is where the plot thickens. But before we talk about the new reality with looming motorhome bans, remember that issue we just mentioned about campground overcrowding and struggling to get a campsite? Well, we found a great resource for this, and it is a website called RV. Now, RV is a travel agency booking service that we love and we use to get real-time searches for over 200,000 available campsites on the RV platform. And with RV's addition of state parks in 4 more states in January, RV will have over 218 state park systems that can now be searched, and those sold out scans that you can set up for some of the best campsites in the US, and coming in January, 431 Canadian campgrounds too. So if campsites are available, you can request a booking with just one click on the RV platform. And then RV uses your profile to complete that reservation and send your confirmation number within minutes. Now, every day, RV also finds and books near impossible campsite cancellations at some of the greatest parks in America, and we personally have been able to score some near impossible campsite reservations with our RV membership. We have the RV Pro plan, which is the best value because you get 10 sold out search scans every 2 minutes, and this greatly improves chances of scoring a warm weather cancellation this winter when the competition is the toughest. I personally right now have several sold out scans running with my RV membership for some state parks here in Florida that we want to hit this winter, and it's super helpful for trip planning for 2025 because RV routinely finds and books cancellations that are even 8 to 12 months out from the arrival date. RV's really helped us dominate that cancellation game in picking up some great campsites due to those cancellations. And since we want this channel to be a resource for the RV community, we've partnered with RV for a 10% discount for our viewers. Now, this is an exclusive discount. be sure to visit gratefulglamper.com/RV. That link will also be in the description below. And a huge thanks to RV for sponsoring this video and supporting this channel. So are there really going to be motorhome bans? Well, what does this new reality really look like? As of right now, over 11 states have either enacted or proposed legislation that does restrict the sale and operation of certain motorhomes, and these policies aim to address environmental concerns and urban congestion, but could have really far-reaching consequences when you think about it for those of us in the RV community. So what are these bans that everybody's talking about? Well, you do have part of it being an emission standard issue. So states like California and New York are leading the charge with stricter emissions requirements, and diesel-powered motorhomes, which make up a significant portion of the RV market. I mean, we love our diesel pusher. Well, they're being targeted because they're just, kind of that low-hanging fruit. It's the first thing that's easy to hit. And some states are outright banning the sale of new diesel motorhomes starting as early as 2030. You also have some zoning restriction issues. So in urban areas, local governments are cracking down on overnight RV parking and overnight stays outside of designated campgrounds. Cities like Denver and Seattle now enforce strict no parking zones for motorhomes to reduce urban congestion. And then you have size and weight limits. So you've got states like California, Oregon, Washington, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts. They're all introducing limits on the size and weight of RVs that can travel on certain roads or in particularly scenic or environmentally sensitive areas. The land of the free isn't becoming so free anymore with restrictions on where you can travel by RV, in my personal opinion. And then taxes and fees. So to discourage excessive RV use, states like Oregon and Washington have implemented higher registration fees and road use taxes for larger motorhomes. Now, obviously, this is going to have an impact on RVers because these restrictions are going to make it more challenging and expensive to own and operate an RV. For example, if you're planning to purchase a new diesel motorhome, you may need to consider whether or not it complies with emerging state emissions standards. And navigating cross-country trips might require really careful planning to avoid areas with size or parking restrictions. In short, it's all going to get way more complicated. And why are these bans even happening in the first place? Well, you've got lots of factors that are kind of coming into this, but one being environmental advocacy. So you've got climate change at the forefront of policy discussions, and governments are under pressure to reduce carbon emissions. And of course, like I mentioned, those diesel motorhomes, well, they're seen as the low-hanging fruit for environmental reform. Then you have overcrowding concerns. Popular destinations like national parks are struggling to manage the influx of visitors. We've seen things like timed reservations even to get into some of these parks, and restricting RV use is the one way to ease the strain on these areas. Now, the phrase over-tourism is becoming more common as more and more visitors want to travel. And seeing these looming restrictions, well, it's part of the reason that we're taking an Alaskan cruise this summer, because there's a lot of legislation being proposed now to not only limit RVs, but also cruise ships in Alaska due to over tourism. Then you have urban development. So as cities are growing, officials are prioritizing housing and infrastructure over RV parking and RV storage. And then you have industry trends. So the automotive industries in general shift towards electric and hybrid vehicles is now also influencing the RV market. And some states are seeing this as a way to just ban and accelerate the transition to greener technologies. But seriously, a fully electric motorhome, just not sure that that's in the cards. So what does the future really hold for RVing? Well, first and foremost, it's not going to be as easy as it used to be, flat out. And it's going to take a lot more advanced planning, and that is why using tools like RV are going to become more and more needed. And personally, this is just our predictions now, so you can let us know in the comments what you think. But we're predicting that smaller, lighter RVs are probably going to become more commonplace. And this is just to comply with size and weight restrictions. And we're seeing a growing interest in compact travel trailers and camper vans. And these smaller vehicles, well, they are easier to maneuver, park, maintain. And so it does make them an attractive option for both new and seasoned RVers. In fact, we're personally looking at options for a smaller RV ourselves. This also means that if you're a family wanting to go full time, well, Be prepared to have to navigate more logistics as a full-time RV family, because a smaller RV for a family probably just isn't realistic. So we're also seeing how these changes will increase demand for off-grid capabilities. Now, with campground overcrowding and urban restrictions, more RVers could turn to boondocking or camping off-grid as a way to solve this problem. So innovations like better solar panels, lithium batteries, composting toilets could definitely become more of the norm to enjoy these remote locations without relying on traditional campgrounds. So is there anything that we as the RV community could really do about all of this? Well, RVers, as you know, are a passionate group, and many are banding together to advocate for fair policies. And there are some organizations out there like the RV Industry Association and the Escapees RV Club that work to influence legislation and ensure that this lifestyle remains accessible to all. And if you're an RVer or planning to become one, it's a great time to start to prepare now. And here's how you can stay ahead of the curve. So one, just stay informed. Follow the news updates and RV legislation in your state and across the country, because knowledge really is power, and understanding these rules can help you in planning your travels effectively. Number two, consider your RV choice. Now, if you're in the market for a new RV, you might want to think about future-proofing your purchase. You might want to consider something smaller, more versatile, and if it will work for your situation, especially if you're empty nesters and it's maybe just the two of you that are going to be in the RV the majority of the time, maybe a smaller RV would be a better option. And then third, just upgrade your tech, investing in tools and technologies that enhance those off-grid capabilities, such as solar panels or portable power stations and water filtration systems. These upgrades can really give you more flexibility and independence when it comes to this lifestyle. In fact, we'll leave a link in the description below for Cross Country RV Solar. Derek, who's the person we've worked with to install all of our off-grid stuff, we highly recommend them. He's done a great job with us. Now, lastly, plan strategically. As restrictions increase, trip planning is going to become more important, and using apps to find RV-friendly routes and campgrounds, well, you're definitely going to want to make use of those and book well in advance. It's where you can use RV to set up those sold-out scans and get involved. Join some RV advocacy groups. Stay active in the RV community. The more voices that we have advocating for fair and balanced policies, well, the better the chances of really preserving this lifestyle for those to come. RVing has long been synonymous with freedom, adventure, and connection to nature, and we all need to rethink and potentially replan some of our RV travel and the RV lifestyle to keep it this way. So as we all think and try to evolve with it, what's some approaches that maybe come to mind for you? Let us know in the comments below if you're ready for what's next. Because one thing is for certain, the future of RVing America is definitely shifting. And to learn some more about that, we suggest watching this video right up here.